World falling apart. They told me I was scheduled to report to the army barracks immediately. I told them I just woken up. That night I drank. I drank with my friends and I don't remember what time I came home. There was always a glimpse of hope inside that things would go back to normal, that it was just temporary or bad dream. You want to wake up, so you keep pouring more and more alcohol down your throat in the hope that it will change things. I noticed something else that night. It was summer, and in my city we had a recreational center called Copacabana. Every year, the swimming pools played host to the Summer of the Youth event, with local bands from across Yugoslavia playing, but this year there was no music and the pools were empty. People must have been just sitting at home. Something big was definitely happening. Moreover, I realized that some of my friends were missing, my Croatian and Serbian friends. When I asked people where they are, I would just get blank stares and I don't know. I don't know what's happening or why we are not meeting each other anymore. The night started with drinking and ended up with drinking. I come home, I was drunk and a very, very sad person. My heart was breaking into a million pieces. I just wanted to wake up in the morning and for everything to just go back to normal. The following morning was the 14th of July 1991, and I woke to a hard knocking on my door. I knew something was happening, but I didn't know what. I knew I had been drunk and must have been in some fight, judging by the bruises on my face and blood on my knuckles. The knocking on the door was so vigorous, so aggressive. I didn't know what to think. I was hoping my mom or my dad would open the door, but nobody did. I could smell the alcohol on my breath and I opened the door. Standing there were 4 police officers, with 2 military policemen and 2 of the regular police. Let me explain something about the police at the time. The regular civilian police, called militia, was official uniforms with a red star on their hats. They were easily recognizable across the whole of Yugoslavia. Croatians had started arming themselves in the 1990s. And now there was a new breed of military police, the Croatian police. The officers gave me some papers and told me I was scheduled to report to the army barracks immediately. I told them I just woken up. One of the regular police officers explained to the military officer that they should go and get the other first, then come back for me. Yes, of course, I said. Of course. The officer said I might want to go to the army barracks by myself. I didn't really understand what was happening. I said I will go to the barracks in the next few hours. I slowly closed the door and looked around. I couldn't see my mom, my father, or my brother. It is not a big unit, just 56 square meters, so it wasn't like it was a maze or anything. I walked slowly through the unit, finding everything was in perfect order, except the balcony door had been shut. We always had the door open in summer. Then I noticed a small piece of white paper on the kitchen table. As I moved towards the table out the window, I saw lots of cards being packed with the suitcases and pieces of furniture. I noticed that some of them were my friends, and it struck me that they were all Serbian Orthodox, standing there, looking out of the window. An uncontrollable shiver went through me. Everything was happening so quickly. Still wearing just my undies, I sat at the table and read a note. It simply said, We are okay. Goodbye. I tried to grasp the reality of what actually happening, but I couldn't. My father betrayed me. He left me, his child, to stay in a war while he disappeared. He left me on my own and went off with his wife and younger son. I made a coffee. No fancy coffee machine from George Clooney, just poor Turkish coffee. Boil the water and put coffee inside. I watched the people I'd known for 18 years leaving their homes. The same people who used it to dob me to my parents about how bad I was. I took that piece of paper, my coffee, a smoke, and sat on balcony. It was at 9 a.m. I said, fuck, something bad is happening. I started crying and sat there for a full 15 minutes before going to dress myself. At the bottom of my building was a coffee shop. In there were all the tough guys I used to envy and be afraid of at the same time. They asked me, Mario, where the fuck you going? And I told them, I was going to the army barracks. Where else I go? I had the military police on my back and I needed to report to the unit. In that moment, I realized it was the end of my life as I knew it. I was being judged by the group of people who everyone was afraid of. They were thugs, criminals, fighters, but they were all Croatians. I went back into the coffee shop to have another coffee. Mato, a big, very tough criminal, was there. Everyone was afraid of him, but I was lucky to be in his good books. He put a hand on my shoulder and told me, Mario, your grandfather needs you. Your country needs you. Choose carefully what you are going to do next. I got my coffee and I went to the army barracks.